Right, I'm going to begin, guys. I mean, well, off the back of, obviously, Miss Sloane and the accountant, obviously Hacksaw Ridge, for you, Mel, it must have been really fun to just come and do something as really bloody silly as this. You know, something just that just feels...
I think that made it especially fun, coming off things that are so completely different.
Sure, change is as good as a holiday. It was like a paid vacation.
Hacksaw Ridge and The Crown, Winston Churchill, it couldn't be more different. And it's great to shift gears not only for us, but for people who are paying attention.
It must be what makes this kind of job so fun and what keeps it fresh as well, to guess, just to be moving between genres and different characters like that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Very much so. And in this case, we were just joining these guys who they'd already made 2 movies together, including the prequel to this one. And it was just like joining this comedy troupe. They already had all their rules, and we picked them up in no time.
Yeah.
And are you embarrassing dads? Because my dad used to embarrass me all the time on purpose.
How does he do it?
Well, for example, he'd be wearing trainers at home, but then he'd put on his slippers to come and collect me from the park, knowing that I'd hate it.
Okay.
And he used to pick me up from school in this really loud pink tie-dye shirt, and it made me cry once. I was on my 16th birthday.
He sounds kind of like a sociopath.
Yeah.
Is he still here?
Yes, he is.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I tell my kids that it's my job to embarrass them. I do it for a living. And they forgive me now. They were mortified when they were kids.
And obviously, I've got some dad jokes I'm going to tell you, and I want you to see if you can try not to laugh at these, which I think will be a lot easier than it sounds.
All right, let's hear them.
All right. 2 goldfish are in a tank, and one says to the other, "Do you know how to drive this thing?"
That's not bad.
Oh. Can a kangaroo jump higher than a house?
No.
Of course it can. A house can't jump.
All right, that's a good dad joke.
Okay. What's the best thing about Switzerland?
Full of holes?
I don't know, but the flag is a big plus.
Oh, good. We got to remember these. We're constantly asked for dad jokes in these interviews.
Doctor, I think I've got a steering wheel down my pants.
You got what?
A steering wheel down my pants.
It's driving me nuts.
Yeah, I knew that one.
That's good. Finally, we scored.
Yeah.
I actually got a better response than Mark and Will, who literally didn't laugh at a single one. But, and I gave my best jokes to them. Back to the movie. It does set up a third. Is that something that you guys would be interested in doing? Do you reckon this could be... I mean, also, Mark and Will were saying they want to make as many Daddy's Home films as there are Fast and the Furious, which is a lot. So I was wondering if this is a franchise you'd like to revisit again one day.
You know, this was so much fun. I've even enjoyed 2 weeks of promoting this film. These guys are great company, and they're so funny and fun to work with. And Will is like the best son a comedy partner could have. Mm-hmm. So, in a word, yes, I'd love to make another one.
Yeah, it'd be a hoot.
And who would
This last one was fun, so you want to keep the ride happening. It'd have to be good, though.
It would have to be good. I mean, the great thing about this film, Sean Anders and John Morris, the co-writers, did not want to make a sequel to their first film until they had a premise that would guarantee that it would be at least as good and preferably better. And nor were Will and Mark interested until they pitched the idea of another generation coming along.
And because, I mean, obviously they're 2 very contrasting families, and the way they approach kind of fatherhood is very different to the other. Who would you say you're more similar to of the 2 dads?
Well, my role of Don Whitaker is like an extreme version of myself. I am a little too sentimental. I do talk a little too much. I am not nearly enough of a disciplinarian. But, yeah, it's Don Whitaker is me times about 10.
Yeah. I can do the tough love thing, but I'm pretty soft.
Yeah, and you've got a bit of candy hanging off your ear.
Yes, it's a self-desecration.
Thanks so much for your time today, guys. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That's great.
Thank you. Cheers.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!